These counties are meeting in the All-Ireland Quarter-Finals for the fourth time, including two highly entertaining matches in 2005, when, as now, the Tyrone goalkeeping jersey was in the safe possession of the very tall Pascal McConnell. In front of him is a full backline that includes Cathal McCarran, the 22-year-old from Dromore, still in his first championship season. The half backline seems to have been around since the three wise men were on earth: Hart, Gormley and Jordan. Colm Cavanagh has formed a very useful midfield unit this season with the vastly experienced Kevin Hughes. A change of the half-forward line today sees the recall to the starting 15 of the mercurial Brian McGuigan. He replaces his brother Tommy, and up front Sean Cavanagh is moved forward to join Owen Mulligan, with Martin Penrose expected to play a much deeper role. Here's Kevin McStay.
Yeah, just a word on the Cavanagh boys, Ger. Two crucial contributors really to the Tyrone cause, both in key positions. Colm has benefited, I think, from the great run he had in the league and the Ulster Championship. He's getting around the field very well, and he can score, as we saw in the Ulster final. Now Sean's back at full forward today. You know, he played at 11 for most of the championship. He's a terrific player, we know all about him. Attacks at pace, goes by players, and he has the end product, goals and points, two smashing players.
Well, the Cavanaghs and Tyrone are up against an unchanged Dublin formation, with Stephen Cluxton in his 10th championship season. He's playing behind the most inexperienced full back line left in the championship, marshalled by the number 3 there, Rory O'Carroll. The half back line, with Barry Cahill playing his 45th championship game, will probably be top heavy with covering players. In midfield it's Michael Dara McCauley and Ross McConnell. Alan Brogan will be expected to do much of the prompting at half forward, with Cullen and Corkery dropping deep on occasions, and the side will look for scores inevitably from Bernard Brogan and last week's goal scorer Owen O'Gara. What do you think, Kevin?
Well, I want to give a few lines about the Brogan boys again, similar to the Cavanagh lads we're talking about. Bernard is simply shooting the lights out in 2010, Ger. Freeze and play. He's almost done unmarkable, really, but he'll have to adjust to double, perhaps triple teaming today. He's great pace and power, and he'll be a handful. Now, not as prominent as other seasons, but Alan is a terrific player as well. We know he can score, and he needs to launch. If these two lads are on the same hymn sheet, I really believe they'll do damage to the Tyrone defence. But will they get the ball? We'll have to wait and see.
Thanks very much indeed, Kevin. Well, having beaten Dublin and Kildare in the last 2 years, Tyrone continue their quest for a third quarter-final victory in a row, and it's now just a matter of minutes away. All set to go on the perfect setting. Big crowd at Croke Park. And we've already had the drama here. Let's hope for more when Tyrone and Dublin clash for the 6th ever time in the championship. The match official is David Coldrick of Meath. He was in charge of this year's Ulster final, and of course All-Ireland final referee in the past as well, back in 2007. It's Dublin who won the toss, and they are going to play from left to right in the first half. One or two little switches here and there in the corners, nothing of any great consequence just yet. A little breeze around, and the second of the GA football quarterfinals poised to get underway. We're going to have new champions this year, and Tyrone and Dublin would love to be at least in the semi-finals. Joe McMahon racing after this one along with Barry Cahill. It's going to be interesting, Kevin, to see exactly where Joe plays.
Everywhere.
Well, he's been doing a fair bit of sweeping. Doesn't look like he's going to start there immediately anyway, in front of his own full back line, as Barry Cahill kicks it in. Broken down here once again, and the referee is on the spot immediately as Alan Brogan was kicking that one, and Ryan McMenamin, I think the player he is indicting.
He could perhaps have a choice there. I think there was
Probably there too.
Yes, was there a sense of a foot block there as well? I think as he took his shot, a foot came across. It might have been for it.
It gives Dublin a wonderful chance of getting the first point in this match, and Bernard Brogan duly obliges. So inside the opening minute, Dublin take the lead.
And Bernard Brogan has been picked up by Cathal McCarran. Ryan McMenamin has gone into the other corner to look after David Henry.
And McCarran getting it out here as far as Joe McMahon, who's immediately gone into a very deep position. Forget about the number 12 on his back. It's his brother Justin, or Justy, who gets hauled down. It's going to be interesting to see how Owen O'Gara makes out this afternoon. He was a revelation against Louth here last Saturday. 2 first half goals. McCarran at the end of this one, holding on to it, has options but didn't release it quickly enough as far as Colm Cavanagh, and it breaks out to David Henry, Dublin's captain this year. Coming across again to sweep Joe McMahon. he's going to cover off a lot in front of that full back line. Oh, that's a slack pass out of defence by Philip Jordan, but there was a foul on Kevin Hughes. Free kick awarded against Michael Dara McCauley and Dublin. And here comes Conor Gormley. Here's Brian McGuigan, so often the architect of so many attacking moves. And Brian Dura, their captain, and he goes to ground. Fouled, first time he was in the action. Ross McConnell coming after him here, grabbing his shoulder. 1, 2 or 3 grabs, finally got him down anyway.
Sure, can I just go back maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds ago? Great chance by David Henry down in front of us to get the ball inside on an overlap to Bernard Brogan. Very, very casual, and the ball intercepted. That was a real chance if he got it in quick.
Well, he's a natural defender, of course. As we watch Martin Penrose have a go from a distance, it's drifting to the left-hand side. Sean Kavanagh trying to keep the ball in play. Breaks out again to Barry Cahill. And Dublin trying to build. And they work it out smartly here. Alan Brogan in here at the end of this one from David Henry's pass. Quick look around here to see just what's on. His brother Bernard inside, but everybody well marked, so he has to recycle it back where it started again with David Henry. Now Brogan once more. The older of the two Brogan brothers starting. More in the subs. David Henry going down, he'll have to release it quickly. Davy Hart didn't handle it on the ground, he did. So it's going to be a free in from the 13-metre line.
Pitch is a little slippy, isn't it, Jerry? Yeah.
We had a lot of rain, Kevin, of course, during the opening match, especially in the first half of that. So it is tricky. Case also of the players making sure that they have the correct studs on. Neither of the two teams really watched the opening game here, I can tell you. Dublin came a little late. Bernard Brogan, 1 from 1 so far, trying to make a better angle for himself now, and he's made it and scores. So a second for Dublin and their leading scorer this season, Bernard Brogan. That's 5 goals and 59 points in all competitions so far for Brogan this year. Martin Penrose is the top scorer for Tyrone with 342 from 12 matches so far. Joe McMahon. Oh, he's kicked it straight to Philly McMahon. And it's as if Dublin are saying, right, if you're going to stay back to Joe McMahon, we're going to keep a man back as well. So they'll have to be more accurate in their distribution. Alan Brogan casting aside the challenge of Cathal McCarran. Well blocked, that's brilliantly done there by Colm Kavanagh. Got right into it that time. Great timing, showed good courage. Very well done to Colm Kavanagh. Dublin have it back. Michael Dara McCauley inside towards Bernard Brogan, but Tyrone have players there in number. McCarran, newcomer to the championship this season, out to McGuigan. That's Brian McGuigan, of course. Philip Jordan just held back there on his own 65-metre line. Here's Ryan McMenamin, now 32 years of age. Oh, he kicks it away past Owen Mulligan, who drifted away from the corner and left Michael Fitzsimons back there to gather. It's a Dublin team with an average age of about 24, and Tyrone's team much closer to 30. So lots of experience for Tyrone, lots of football played. As I was saying in the interview with Mickey Hart beforehand, 8 of the starting outfield players today for Tyrone played in that 2003 All-Ireland final. It's quite a record. Comes back towards O'Gara here. Impish full forward. Back out towards Brian Cullen. Got 3 points against Louth. Darting in here. Makes the angle. Beautiful shot. Another one for Dublin, who've made a wonderful start. Just like down before them in the match against Kerry, it's Dublin quick out of the blocks here, and Brian Cullen his first of the afternoon.
Yeah, just strength and direct running. And one of the keys to playing Tyrone, of course, is try and get ahead. Certainly don't fall behind early on, because then they dictate what's going to happen. So it's a terrific start for Dublin, just what the crowd would want, just what the game requires. These kickouts are only about 7 or 8 metres, Jerry. That's the second one. And they must travel 13.
McCarran, they've got away with it so far. That's what they were doing in the Ulster Championship as well, taking quite a number of short kickouts. Dublin have been slow to react to that so far. It allows Tyrone to get it out here as far as Brian McGuigan. Now Ryan McMenamin feeding it back in again. Slipped out as far as Hughes. Now Ryan McMenamin again, 40 metres from the target. Inside towards the hill, but misdirected. And that's the first to go astray for Tyrone in this match, who trail by 3 points to no score. Into the middle of the park, well claimed by Colm Kavanagh, taken down then by Ross McConnell. He's going to have to be careful, he's pulled down 2 players already. Quickly in here, Mulligan trying to break through, and down he goes outside the 13-metre line. Thus far shalt thou go and no further seems to be the policy of that Dublin full back line this afternoon. It was McMahon first of all, and then in the end Fitzsimons, who managed to drag down the 29-year-old from Cookstown.
Yeah, I think he knew what he was doing there, because if Mulligan cuts inside, Mulligan will have only one thing on his mind, and that's to score a goal into the hill. So maybe a professional foul in an amateur game.
Martin Penrose should get the first of the day here for the Ulster champions, and that's sailing over the bar. So 3 of the first 4 points in the match so far have all come from place balls. Only point from place so far scored by Brian Cullen. Mickey Hart, who has a terrific record, a quite terrific record in the championship, 49th championship match this afternoon. They won 34 so far. We can only use one football, but we'll finally get rid of the extra one as they battle in midfield. And Stephen Cluxton kicks it long. Dublin did well on their own kickouts last week against Louth. Inside to David Henry here, ready to take on Davy Hart. It's a good looking ball here. Bernard Brogan, quick readjustment of his starting position, taking it strongly, but then surrounded by Tyrone players. Shows good resolution, but it's a poor kick by Brogan. Away to Davy Hart, out as far as Brian Dooher now. Philip Jordan ready to take command of this situation. Quick view across to see where Brian McGuigan is. Ready to pick a pass here and go straight down towards Mulligan's corner. Should have the better in terms of experience where the battle with Michael Fitzsimons is concerned, if they get decent ball inside. Kevin Hughes now, again playing it out laterally to Dooher. Trying to beat his man, who is Ger Brennan in this instance. Brennan trying to pin him down outside there, but support arriving from Sean Kavanagh. Tyrone's highly impressive and very experienced full forward goes nowhere with that particular attack, comes back out of Fitzsimons again, and the youngster from Coole is fouled. Big roar from the hill. Dublin get the free kick quickly taken. This was Fitzsimons taking it in here under pressure, in the end earning himself and Dublin a free kick. Up as far as O'Gara it comes, swiftly in but just too far for Alan Brogan. That had possibilities, but Pascal McConnell has it covered and then kicks out Cathal McCarron here, but McCarron loses it. McCarron, the least experienced of the Tyrone team, only his 3rd championship match. From that it's out as far as Davy Hart. 2 players there to try and block his path. Comes in as far as Penrose. Hughes now. Referee didn't like the nature of the challenge, so free kick to Tyrone. Jordan. Here's Martin Penrose, plays out around midfield, supporting Colm Kavanagh. Kavanagh got the goal in the Ulster final against Monaghan, misdirects this one. Another wasted opportunity. Still 3 points to 1.
Well, that last chance, I'm sure we'll come back to it again, but O'Gara just had to connect with the inside man. He absolutely had to connect.
This is Barry Cahill. Now Michael Darragh-Macaulay. Well, the last chance from O'Gara intended for Alan Brogan never quite came off. What about this next attack? Brian Cullen letting fly with the left boot, and he has guided it outside the post and put it wide. It's just Dublin's first wide of the match. Well, he had an opportunity just a moment ago to set up a really good goal chance.
Yeah, Ger Brennan lets it in long. He gets a break. That is, he just got to slip it inside. Oh, and he misses him completely. Great chance. These are goal chances. You don't get too many of them. When they present, you have to nail them.
That's at least a 3rd short kick out by Tyrone. Out to Philip Jordan. And Dublin just prepared to haul men back, but then that's been the nature of this Dublin team, bringing players back into areas where they can defend, so it obviously leaves gaps when the kick-outs are being taken. Sean Kavanagh, meanwhile, never really got any decent purchase on that. Certain amount of difficulty there for the cornerback, as Kevin Hughes was lurking with intent. Ger Brennan ready to take this free kick. Ross McConnell now. Dublin happy to be in front. Great catch, that's brilliantly done. Superb leap in the air by Niall Corkery. At the other end, neat footwork by Owen O'Gara, trying to brush aside a couple of challenges, then running into Ricey McMenamin, and Joe McMahon there to pick up the pieces. From Gormley it comes back to Martin Penrose, back out towards Joe McMahon again, looking around, seeing the movement ahead of him here. Brian McGuigan drifting into space. Penrose again, loads of Dublin challenges, nobody able to get that ball off him. Out to Brian Dooher, there's nobody on him, he's got lots of space. Might have a go himself for a score. Dropping it in, Kavanagh trying to keep it alive in there, but only batting it down to the waiting and lurking Barry Cahill. Out as far as David Henry, and Dublin's chance to counter the attack. Ger Brennan back to Alan Brogan. Look how deep he's come. Ross McConnell, a lovely point last week here, inside towards Bernard Brogan, and he was being held off that time by Cahill McCarran, the 22-year-old from Dromore. And that could be an area of profit for Dublin this afternoon, that particular matchup, the inexperienced McCarran against Brogan. McCarran did really well at the Ulster final, but this is another big test. Got a lot of protection too, is the point we were making last week. Got a lot of protection. Protection hasn't kicked in yet. They haven't quite set up the sweeper in front of him. That was definitely a free. Conor Gormley requiring the attention. There's the Kavanagh chance, isn't it? Yeah, the big long ball. He did great here. All the little bounces and breaks, you know, they're all just going against Tyrone at the moment. But a great take by Kavanagh. Didn't get the shot on. And everybody remembers, of course, 2008 when they moved him up to full forward, and it was a superb change of position. He's so versatile. That kind of flexibility gives them lots of options. Down on the side of the field here, you can see the management team talking with Martin Penrose, Tony Donnelly there, the wherefore now, and Mickey Hart having words as well just a moment earlier. I imagine they're adjusting their own defence because, as we know, Dublin are packing theirs. They're playing Philly McMahon to mind their own full back line. So there's a lot of bodies back there, and Penrose hasn't just quite got the balance or his responsibilities in their own formation quite to form. It's a third for Bernard Brogan, all of them coming from frees, and Dublin lead by 4 points to 1. Short kick out again, out to Joe McMahon, or rather it's Justin this time, his brother. Now Joe, back to the younger brother, 24 years of age, both of them from Omagh, of course. Ryan McManaman, Brian Dooher, inevitably hugging that right wing. Philip Jordan playing the full game, it seems, over as a right half back. Dooher again, and not for the first time, trying to pick out Sean Kavanagh, but with moderate success so far. Sure, just let me go back to the quick kick-outs. I did reference them there a few minutes ago. The ball, every player must be 13 metres away from the ball. The ball doesn't necessarily have to travel 13 metres, but you must be away when the ball is kicked 13 metres back. They haven't been so far, and they've got away with it. Billy McMahon from this particular kick-out. Well, Tyrone will have studied Dublin because they've had plenty of weeks, the last 4 weeks, to be looking at them. So they'll have identified certain areas where they're strong and certain areas where they could certainly maybe snatch a score or two and gain an advantage. It's going to be a free kick from their own half-back line for Tyrone anyway. And Justin McMahon likes to forego that number 3 position. Mention number 3's Rory O'Carroll has really settled into the role with great style, and as I mentioned, he gives it away to Brian Dooher. Now Mulligan's come to forage. Penrose looks across, Kavanagh double marked, but still McGuigan gets it as far as the man from Moy. Now Martin Penrose kicking from 30 metres out, and that's a lovely score. Martin Penrose kicks his second point of the match. This is the first one to come from play, and it's 4 points to 2.
Yeah, one of their top players this season. And you saw the words he was having on the sideline. He's playing just in front of the midfield, and he seems to be coming more into it now.
Well, he was largely a peripheral figure in the last couple of seasons, but he's been given a new role this year, and he has reacted very positively. Owen O'Gara given his chance this season at full forward. They hold, they wait. David Henry on to Alan Brogan. Kicked in ambitiously towards Bernard, his brother, fisted away, however, by McMahon. That's Justin, out as far as Conor Gormley. Not the best of kicks away. Seized on by Ross McConnell. Up as far as Alan Brogan, darting inside, pursued there by Penrose. Back it comes to McConnell again, trying to make a little bit of headway this time, lofting it up into the sky. Very difficult one for his forward colleagues to claim, in particular Brian Cullen. Away by Kevin Hughes. Quick darting run forward by Ryan McMenamin, down towards Sean Kavanagh. He's been very much left on his own, it seems to me, so far up there. Mulligan's very, very wide away on the right hand side, and it's Dublin who break, and it's Barry Cahill as the Dubs lead by 2. Michael Dara-McCauley, again the number of Tyrone players as they carry that ball into the challenge, showing inexperience, but Dublin get it back through grit and determination. McCauley back here to Cullen. Here's David Henry trying to pick out the best possible pass inside towards Brogan again. Brogan against McCarran, back towards Alan Brogan. It falls away from him to Conor Gormley, and in the end Dublin get themselves the 45, and there was nothing Joe McMahon could do about it.
Terrific play by Rory O'Carroll back in the last play. Magnificent. It's definitely a 45 comes off the Tyrone player, but I want to go back to Rory O'Carroll in the last defensive play. It was terrific. Ger battled so hard, the ball broke, and he still got a hand to it, pushed it out to one of his own players. And this is another chance, Cluxton. We've seen him put these over. 4
so far, indeed, in this year's championship. Top point scorer for a goalkeeper in the championship. Well, the other one I can think of is the Limerick goalkeeper, of course, has been doing it with great success also. But they're now out of the championship. So Cluxton with 4 so far. Will it carry in? It will! So 5 points to 2. Dublin lead. And going in there to just try and upset the short kick out was Alan Brogan. And some of the Tyrone defenders didn't like it. And as you see, it's become a little heated. In the past, players from these two counties have had a history. Let's hope it doesn't degenerate here.
Why didn't the referee deal with this quick kick out 15 minutes ago? You know, this is the third, fourth time. They weren't getting the referee's cooperation, and Dublin said, well, we're not going to let it happen again. And that's where it's come from.
So peace is restored. This is what happened. Have a look at it again. Alan Brogan went in there. Pascal McConnell was quickly helped out by Ryan McMenamin to remove the Dublin number 11. But as you say, Kevin, that's something that shouldn't have been allowed to develop in that fashion. Brian McGuigan bursting forward. An impossible angle, it seems, surrounded by Dublin players. Having to recycle it there, back here as far as Davy Hart. Getting by Michael Dara-McCauley, knocking it with the outside of his boot and putting it wide. Well, Davy Hart, the Errigal Kieran player, has been known to get up and get a score or two in the past. Always good for a point. Indeed, his only championship goal was against Dublin. David Henry looking up, and the referee saw some holding inside this time, and Bernard Brogan is applauding as Cathal McCarran gets nabbed by the referee David Coldrick, and there could be a card shown to him. Name going into the book anyway, and that's the first of the day.
Persistent fouling, I would say. He's catching him far, but let's go back to the Cluxton kick-out. It was magnificent. He put the ball down, banged it 60 metres straight to David Henry, and this is the score that's coming off it.
So far, a very absorbing match. Bernard Brogan composing himself. He's got 3 so far, and now Dublin have got 6. 6-2 they lead. The hill is happy. The sun has come out, and Tyrone well aware that they've no need to panic. 3/4 of this game still to go, and they don't do that type of panic. Brian Dooher, pursued over there by Brian Cullen. Out there with quick hands was Rory O'Carroll, but it's left behind to Martin Penrose, trying to chip it into Owen Mulligan. Defended well initially. Mulligan has to go after it again, and the referee spotted a foul as the Tyrone players on the deck, and there could be another card as Billy McMahon and Michael Fitzsimons get into difficulty, and it's Fitzsimons has been spoken to.
Looked like a late tackle when the pass was made. Nicky Fitzsimons came through, put himself on a yellow.
So 1 yellow per team, and the 2 number 2s are the ones who've seen the colour. 2 inexperienced players.
Watch what happens after the pass. Well, in fairness, he didn't do a whole lot, no.
Well, the referee's instinct was to call him aside, give him the card. Martin Penrose now will take his time over this. The crowd trying to unsettle him. It's a good 35 metres at least from the target. One Tyrone could do with, and Penrose has kicked it over the bar. He's their only scorer, and after 23 minutes of play, their 3 points come by virtue of 2 frees and 1 point from play.
And that's a great kick. That's a pressure kick. It's a great kick by a man who's at the top of his form.
Into the middle of the park again. It's broken down by Ross McConnell to the waiting Michael Darragh Macaulay. Almost lost it there to Brian Dooher, and the ball was thrown and fiddled and lost. Handled on the ground anyway. Colin Kavanagh. As far as Brian McGuigan, Tyrone looked purposeful. From Hughes into Jordan, surrounded. And again, the referee blows his whistle and indicates that it's going to be a free in.
So we might see Cathal McCarn possibly switching out. The pressure coming on now.
Brennan under pressure.
I thought that was a handy enough injury. I have to say the first contact when he stopped the forward movement seemed reasonable.
The referee has been speaking to Ross McConnell and given a yellow card, so he's dished out the cards now fairly rapidly in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Owen Mulligan to kick his first point of the game and narrow the gap to 2 points. And a substitution has been made, and Dermot Carlin has come in place of Cathal McCarron.
Yeah, that's all as a result of the yellow card and not a particularly bright opening by Cathal McCarron. So Dermot Carlin's in now to try and shore it up.
Interesting thing about the Tyrone defence over the years, there's always been one spot there that seems to fluctuate. You never can be quite certain who's going to get one of the cornerback positions. Brogan breaks it down, but only to the waiting Ryan McMenamin of Tyrone. Out via Joe McMahon it comes, out to Davy Hart. Picked up again here by Brian Dooher. Little block on it there by Kevin Nolan. Into it quickly came Sean Kavanagh, but look how far out he's come. He's left Mulligan on his own inside, and Tyrone break from a deep position. Carlin was involved, Mulligan there to finish, and he's put it over the bar. 2 in a row for Owen Mulligan, and it's now 6 points to 5, and Tyrone are making a wonderful comeback.
Yeah, this is a serious point. Simons is around him, trying to put pressure on him, but he just pulls it off so quick over the shoulder. Brilliant score.
Well, he's got some terrific scores in the past, hasn't he, Owen Mulligan? With those 2 points now, he's got something like 3 goals and 21 points in 6 and a bit matches in quarterfinals. Rory O'Carroll being attended to over there, and there's a little bit of concern. Perhaps there's blood and he might need to be substituted temporarily. That might be the indication from the physio. Well, he's only 20 years of age still, Rory O'Carroll, and he's been quite a revelation this year. Great attitude, great competitor, loves playing the game, and it's refreshing to watch youngsters like him down there representing Dublin this season.
There's a real big cut to him. He's got it all. Just needs a bit more experience.
It comes out to Barry Cahill from the little tap down there from McConnell. This is taken by Sean Kavanagh. Now Mulligan. Kicking it in deep. Oh, was there a phantom whistle there?
Was,
because Martin
that's exactly
Penrose
what happened. Yeah.
was in the clear and he just stopped running because he heard a whistle.
I was down there last week actually doing a little piece under the hill, and there's a few whistlers in there.
Well, it's one tactic, but not one we particularly welcome. Owen O'Gara. Good vision to pick out David Henry. Now, where can they work it from here? Inevitably, they go looking for one of the inside forwards. It's Niall Corkery this time. We've got a goal on his debut in the league against Tyrone back in Omagh, when Dublin won by 6 points in mid-April. That's a very bad pass out of defence, and it allows Michael Darragh Macaulay to show his ruggedness and competitiveness, but the final pass wasn't a good one. Lots of mistakes, lots of passing errors, but still quite an absorbing match. Kavanagh, that's Colm Kavanagh. He's got players to aim at. Sean Kavanagh's brother is just waiting for it. Here he is. Not the best of passes, and it allowed Brian Cullen to come in and get him from behind and knock him over. No question about the free kick. There you go, the elbow coming out into the back. And the way he hit the ground, obviously he got a knock to the face.
Yeah, this is the phantom whistler you're talking about.
Yeah.
There it is there, yeah.
He heard
no question
at that stage,
yeah.
Kevin.
Well spotted, Ger, absolutely no question he heard something.
Mulligan then to tie it up. And he's got 3, same as Martin Penrose. 4 of their 6 points have come from frees, and it's 6 points apiece. 29 minutes are gone. And it's a very good recovery by Tyrone after Dublin had made a lot of the early running. Barry Cahill. Important now to see who's going to get the next score. Kavanagh was in there. The other Kavanagh, Colm Kavanagh, got it down to Kevin Hughes. About to be challenged by Michael Fitzsimons. Came off a Dublin leg, came off of Barry Cahill.
Another great block there, Ger. That's Colm Kavanagh's second massive block in the game. You know, we had one there maybe 10-15 minutes ago. Look at this again. Great timing, great bravery. Turns the ball over.
Yes, superb skill there by Colm Kavanagh, who's adapted really to the role of midfielder. He's been moulded by Mickey Hart and the coaching team to play at midfield. Philip Jordan we know all about. And Philip Jordan has kicked the lead point for Tyrone. Going into the lead for the first time after half an hour of this All-Ireland quarter-final. Got into the clear, got it on the right, showed composure, and straight as you like, over the bar. 7-6.
Great strike for a defender to push on into the space there. Sell a bit of a dummy, cut inside on his right foot, hit a scorcher over the bar. And now the lead point, Tyrone have really brought it back so quickly and so neatly.
Very efficient play. There's a little push there by Colm Kavanagh on Ross McConnell. So free kick to Dublin. Well, now having gone behind Dublin, you wonder about their approach to the next, say, 5 minutes before half-time. Building here with Philly McMahon. Well, it's a huge one. It's an enormous kick. Superb by Philly McMahon. Just his second ever championship point. Well, you might remember he got one against Armagh in the qualifier, and he's kicked a beauty here to tie up the game at 7 points apiece.
Well, he was the loose man. Nobody marked him, and he shows he's got accuracy.
So level for the second time. Dermot Carlin ready to take this free kick. McMenamin. The loose man here is Davy Hart. Opting to come infield, back to Jordan. Now Dermot Carlin. Well, he's pushing forward. Player who came on as a replacement for Cathal McCarron. Right there in the thick of all of that. Joe McMahon, by the way, has gone back to pick up the dangerous Bernard Brogan, and that has enabled Dermot Carlin to take up a freer role. Just shows you the adaptability of Joe McMahon and his value. The two McMahons are now as markers at the back for Tyrone. Under pressure from Michael Dara-McCauley. Reaching in for it was Ryan McMenamin. Getting it out to Conor Gormley. Here's Brian Dooher. Looking around. No rush. Back once again from Gormley to Dooher. Didn't play in the National League, Brian Dooher. He prepared himself meticulously. Came through several injuries over the winter period. His training regime is legendary. Wanted to get back for the championship. Here's Alan Brogan of Dublin. David Henry. They'd love to take a lead with them into the half-time break. And that time he threw it. You can argue the point as much as he wants, but he did throw it in the mind of referee David Coldrick.
Colm Kavanagh pulled his hand, indeed he did. That's why he had to throw it. Can't do much with one hand.
True enough, as Conor Gormley tries to pick out the run of Martin Penrose. Shakes off the attentions of Rory O'Carroll initially. Now clipping it in here as far as Sean Kavanagh. Again, seeing a loose player, Brian Dooher, checking. Again cutting inside, back out, this time to Penrose. Same type of move, and it doesn't quite work for Martin Penrose. And that's 5 wides now for Tyrone.
And again, during that build-up, Ger, I heard 3 or 4 whistles again coming from the hill. It's a real annoyance, and it could cause some controversy.
I'm half expecting fellas in white coats to come behind us if we keep on hearing whistles, Kevin. Here comes Ger Brennan. Into McConnell. A lovely move. Nicely on to Alan Brogan. Should have finished, and he knows it. It's Dublin's second wide, but it should have been Alan Brogan's first point, and it's still 7 points to 7 points.
And that's the shot of a player that's just not high on confidence. He snatched at it a wee bit. He's playing well in general play, but he's just not scoring in the way he used to once.
I was mentioning the league match between them in Omagh. He got a lovely goal in that, a pass from his brother Bernard, and Bernard got 7 points in the first half. Well, that was the league, as they say, and this is what it's all about here, the quarterfinals of the championship. And Tyrone have created more scoring chances than Dublin so far, 14 against 10. And now looking to set up number 15 and maybe take an interval break with something of an advantage in the tank. Into the final minute of the opening half. Conor Gormley, Sean Kavanagh rounding 1 or 2 players. He was dragged back eventually. Didn't appear to be going anywhere in a hurry, it has to be said. And the referee busy once more.
And he was just there.
Michael Dara-McCauley.
Cheap fouls. That's one of the problems of playing this high intensity pressure game, that unless it's really, really disciplined, you start giving away silly frees. When players start putting in their hand and holding, there's a chance for Penrose.
So Penrose to kick from just inside the 45-metre line. There'll be 2 minutes of added time played. So as we head into the additional time, Penrose kicks and drops it in over the bar. To add to his personal tally, he's got 4. Owen Mulligan's got 3. And Tyrone lead this by 8 points to 7. The other point, of course, scored by Philip Jordan. Oof. That was Kevin Nolan coming across Brian Dooher there. And it's a line ball. Taken quickly in here as far as Ger Brennan, the St Vincent's player. Again, Nolan looking up, spotting a run, and it's McMahon again. There are 3 McMahons in the match. The Dubliner has got a point. And the other 2 members of the clan are back in defence for Tyrone. Carlin. Here's Colm Kavanagh. Picking out Ryan McMenamin, darting away from the would-be challenge. Over here to Davy Hart. Well, they're working it incrementally in, and again, as Sean Kavanagh was trying to go forward, there's a challenge which the referee blows up. Here it is again, it's into the back by Philly McMahon. Just didn't time it properly. Has to be shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, Sean Kavanagh's a player that there's a lot of bad press from players and media perhaps that he tends to go to ground easy, but in that case he was hit in the back, and that put him forward and flying. 3 to Tyrone.
And it's back with Mulligan, who tries to extend their interval lead but fails to do so with his latest shot. but they have a 1 point advantage. 8 points to 7. Another 30 seconds or so still to be played. Stephen Cluxton, one of those to score. Bernard Brogan got 4 points from frees, of course. Broken down by Carlin again in the middle of the park. Hughes onto it quickly. Quite a scramble in the middle of the field. People puzzled by that particular decision, but it goes Tyrone's way. And Davy Hart trying to line up McGuigan here to burst his way through. They can't stop him. Penrose! Oh! Strikes the crossbar. Kavanagh blocked down by Barry Cahill. Great bit of excitement in the last 30 seconds of this first half. Well, that should have been the opening goal of the game, and the referee blows for half-time, and Martin Penrose is probably wondering why didn't he find the back of Cluxton's net.
And this would have changed everything going in. He does just about everything right, except the shot is a little bit high. I'm not sure if Cluxton gets a touch on it. Either way, it hits the crossbar and comes out.
He may well have done so, Kevin, may well have done, but Penrose scored 4, Mulligan got 3. Bernard Brogan was the top scorer for Dublin with 4 points, but all of them coming from frees. And at half-time in this All-Ireland quarter-final, it's Tyrone 8 points, Dublin 7. Well, Michael, we're just having a quick look around. As you've noted, Stephen O'Neill has come on. He's come on, we reckon, for Davy Hart. Paul Flynn has come on, and I'm just looking around to see who is missing, and it's a process of elimination here quickly to see who that might be. I wonder, is it David Henry? Number 30's on as well, by the way. Cian O'Sullivan's come on. Pity we don't actually get an indication at the start of a half in major matches like this when
David Henry is definitely missing from what I can see.
You reckon he's gone, is he?
Yeah, I do. And did you get Davy Hart is out for Tyrone?
Yeah. Second half gets underway anyway. Dublin have made 2 changes. Tyrone have made 1. It's 8 points to 7, and straight away it's Paul Flynn into the action. Great one down as far as Alan Brogan, trying to make an angle for himself. Pursued there by Carlin, and the referee says dragged back by the defender. And it's going to be a free in. So straight away Dublin have an opportunity of making it a level game at 8 points apiece. One man watching this in Australia is Johnny Boyle from the 1958 winning team, watching on the Gold Coast. Greetings to you. I know you're bringing a football from the league final that year to Croke Park shortly, and right now you're probably celebrating because your team have just drawn level here, and that is another one. So a 5th point of the match for Bernard Brogan. Justin McMahon taking it back here. He loves to get away from full-back. Roaming forward again. Sean Kavanagh now in there to help him. Justin McMahon once more, almost getting caught in a bind. Back here towards Carlin. He's played well since coming on. Philip Jordan got a point in the first half, and Penrose has struck the crossbar, has put this one wide. Well, when we had another little look at that at half-time, it looked indeed, Kevin, as though the goalkeeper Stephen Cluxton did get a fingertip to it.
Yeah, it did. It was a terrific save. I do believe he got a touch to it. Just going back to the half-time substitutions, I can't put my finger on Barry Cahill, so he may have left the action also.
Yeah, I don't see him either. Mind you, his last contribution, if that was the great block on Sean Kavanagh just before the half-time whistle was blown. This time the referee gives a free kick to Conor Gormley, who looked like he might have been barging. That's the Dublin attitude anyway. The free kick going Tyrone's way. And Joe McMahon eventually going to kick it. Pascal McConnell is goalkeeper, the 30-year-old civil servant from Newton Stewart. Nice leisurely build-up again by Tyrone. Brian McGuigan just holding and waiting. Quite a plus for them to have Stephen O'Neill now as a target man up front. There he is, into challenge Philly McMahon, who felt the shoulder. Paul Flynn holding, waiting. Penrose trying to put in a tackle down towards Bernard Brogan. Something of a forlorn kick, however. He's well surrounded by Tyrone players. Both sides with a lot of bodies back in defence, trying to break open here with a gap appearing, and Philip Jordan looking for his second point. That's a lovely kick. Well, he got 3 here, I remember 2 years ago in an All-Ireland semi-final against Wexford, and a point in each half gives Tyrone the edge once more. They lead by 9 points to 8.
Simple but brilliant at the same time. Jordan carries the fight to Dublin and slips over a nice one.
Well, he's one of the 30-year-olds in this Tyrone team, as good and as fresh as ever it seems. Paul Flynn now, quick counter-attack down towards Alan Brogan. Second time of asking, going to meet it. Players calling for it. One of them is Cher Brennan. Brennan tried to wrestle his way past Conor Gormley, still holds. And certainly Dublin fans felt that he was being dragged back there. No free was coming, however.
How did he get this ball out over the sideline? Watch it closely. I think he puts it out over himself. I'm pretty sure he does.
It's back once again here towards Alan Brogan, but never reached him. It reached Conor Gormley instead. Now Brian Dooher challenged. Penrose released out as far as Justin McMahon. And McMahon is off once again. Running into O'Gara's challenge, however, and the referee blowing against the young Dubliner. So a lot of free kicks right at the very beginning of the second half again. Tyrone in no particular hurry. Brian McGuigan from Ardbow, out of football for about 2.5 years at one stage, taking this free kick himself. Now Philip Jordan. Sean Kavanagh, deep, waiting. Again they run into traffic. And it's a very busy middle third of the field here. So many bodies in there. Free kick taken by Bernard Brogan. Into the hands of Brian Cullen. Nicely forward towards Paul Flynn. Having a crack himself. Didn't quite make it. Well, he scored 4 points in the past in his championship career. Today coming on to play for Dublin for the 12th time. Free kick is taken, or the kick-out's taken quickly to Ryan McMenamin. Loose player outside, Philip Jordan. Trying to make headway. Inside towards Owen Mulligan. Got that wonder goal in 2005 against Dublin. Kicking off his right and kicking smartly and truly. He's got a 4th point. And Tyrone open up a 2-point gap.
Super score. This is vintage Mulligan. This is what he does best. Just turns off, wheels off, and gets onto his right foot. And he could do that all day. Great score.
Well, his side going into a 2-point lead now, and Dublin will be looking for an instant response. Paul Flynn dished off here quickly. Back into the middle again towards Flynn, needing Kevin Nolan. Oh, might have given the obvious pass to Ger Brennan, never did, it never came. Instead, it's Brian McGuigan who breaks. Ran away completely there. Cian O'Sullivan back helping out. Brennan now, much more assured this time. Flynn. The substitutes could make a difference. Michael Dara McCauley slipped in nicely here as far as Rory O'Carroll. The fullback, both number 3s like to attack. This is going to drop short. Well done by Pascal McConnell, because that was wavering in the very light breeze here. It's kicked out eventually to the security of Sean Kavanagh. Further forward towards Stephen O'Neill. Footballer of the year in the past in 2005. Now Owen Mulligan swiftly back in towards O'Neill again. He'll crack one from here, and he puts it wide. The umpires took a while to consider their verdict on that one. I remember the night he kicked 6 points in the league here, the night they turned on the floodlights. And Dublin have made a change. It's about to happen in a couple of minutes' time. Coming in will be Eamon Fennell, as there are 2 Tyrone players having to pick themselves off the deck.
Niall Corkery.
And Niall Corkery is the one, as you say, going off. And Eamon Fennell becomes the 3rd change made by the team manager Pat Gilroy and his backroom colleagues. Always battles hard, Niall Corkery, and it's a case of now bringing on some fresh legs, and I reckon Fennell wouldn't have a full 70 minutes, or Fennell wouldn't have a full 70 minutes, but They're hoping that it'll get a good half an hour anyway. McMenamin out here as far as Dooher. Very tight. Slipped in by McMahon, but it's come back to Dublin again. It's come back to Paul Flynn. Alan Brogan trying to burst through, but look at the number of Tyrone players again getting back. That's the story of the game, really. Players from both teams running the ball into challenges, into the tackle, especially Dublin, showing some inexperience. And the quick counter here with Colm Kavanagh, about to be challenged by Ross McConnell. He's got to be careful because he's on a yellow already.
Yeah, but I'm sure we're going to see Colm Kavanagh looking at him, pulling him right across.
And the referee making his way over to him, and he's decided, I think, not to take any further action, and Ross McConnell is very lucky.
He is, but I think it is the right call. I don't think there was a sinister effort there really to stop him playing.
As Kavanagh kicks the resultant free kick high and wide.
But sure, just a number, you know, you're talking about the Tyrone defence just over the last few games. Benny Coulter, Tommy Freeman and Bernard Brogan, the three big danger men that Tyrone have faced. 1 point from play from them.
It's quite amazing. 9 wides, by the way, for Tyrone so far. That last one there from Sean Kavanagh. Look at the intensity of the challenges from the Tyrone players around the middle of the park, just to try and keep Dublin at bay. But Kevin Nolan setting off now here. Little run away to the left here by Bernard Brogan. 5 points so far in the match, all of them from frees. Back it comes to Cian O'Sullivan. Slip back in again towards the corner forward. That looks good. It's a 1-point game. Bernard Brogan 6. That's the first to come from play, and it's 10 points to 9. 10 minutes into the second half. Dublin able to stay with Tyrone. Big difference from last year when they were blown out of it by Kerry, who of course themselves were beaten in the opening quarter-final. In case you missed it, it was Down who beat them by 116 to 110. So we're going to have new champions in 2010. Colm Kavanagh, 65 metres out, held up here by Brian McGuigan. Kavanagh back again to McGuigan. The Yard bowman getting it into Mulligan. Score of 4 points. Hughes struggling to keep the two hands on it, and it's won back again by Michael Fitzsimons, and Fitzsimons wins the free kick for Dublin, and the Dublin fans in a crowd of 62,749 rising to the 21-year-old from Cuala, down to Owen O'Gara. One man to aim at against two defenders. That's Bernard Brogan. Across Joe McMahon, after him Ryan McMenamin. Brogan needing reinforcements. Way back, 30 metres back to his brother Alan Brogan, but they managed to keep the attack alive. They're behind by a point. Not any longer. Level for the fourth time. Alan Brogan's first point. 46 minutes are gone. Quite a match. Tyrone, the Ulster champions, 10 points. Dublin, who've come through the qualifiers, 10 points.
Joe was talking about how good is Bernard Brogan. He got the last one from play. He makes that one with a recovered ball and a pass back to the brother, and a tremendous point with his left foot. So the Brogans are well up for it now, and that's good news for Dublin as they level it again.
Well, it's a terrific fighting performance by Pat Kilroy's team, and credit his backroom team of Mickey Wheel and David Hickey, the old Dublin player of yesteryear, who was such a tremendous star, and Paddy O'Donoghue as well. Ryan McMenamin down there needing the attention of the physio, who is Michael Hart, Mickey's son, and Ricey, as they call him, playing in his 58th championship match today. The hill comes alive once again. It was never terribly silent at any stage, and what a difference 12 months has made. So Tyrone realising they've got to pick it up again now here. Joe McMahon. Best part of 25 minutes still to play. That's probably including a couple of minutes of stoppage time as per usual. They're trying to pin him back. The manager encouraging O'Gara to keep on chasing after Justin McMahon. And he kicks it away in the end to Rory O'Carroll. Good play by Dublin as they get it back. And it's Ross McConnell. Now Michael Darrow McCauley. To his left, he's got Alan Brogan, who got that last point, the levelling score, to make it 10 points apiece. Looking around, diagonally over here, towards Flynn, beyond him. Jordan gets a fist away to it, keeps it away from Brian Cullen, who was incoming. Back out again towards Eamon Fennell this time. First contribution to kick and to put it to the left, and he puts it wide. And that is a fourth wide of the match for Dublin. His first contribution. Again, the kick out taken quickly. Out here to Joe McMahon. To Justin McMahon. Tripped. Very quickly out as far as Brian Dooher, the 34-year-old from Clonenwell. 35 later in the summer. Gormley. Inside towards Penrose. So unlucky with that shot that came off the crossbar of the call of half-time. Towards Mulligan. Great catch. Brilliantly done by Mulligan. Showing good strength, good tenacity. Up into the air. Stephen O'Neill's in there, foraging. Dublin there with numbers, but it comes back out again here towards McMenamin. Once more back towards Sean Kavanagh. Kavanagh's shot is wide. A missed opportunity for Tyrone, who are beginning to feel the heat.
Big work there by Mickey Fitzsimons. When the ball came back to Owen Mulligan, it was he that got the body out and put the pressure on the kick. We might just see it if we can stay with this piece. And that's why he didn't score. It went up in the air, not over the bar.
Dublin will be bringing in Conal Keeney very shortly. He'll be their fourth substitution. Meanwhile, Brian Cullen tries to open up this Tyrone defence with a very astute pass to Alan Brogan. But now having a bit of work to do, he's left a number of defenders behind him. Back in towards his brother, and it's cracked over the bar. And Dublin lead the quarter-final by 11 points to 10.
Yeah, it's a great score. The Brogans again are at it in the corner. Well, what a pass by Brian Cullen, I think it was. It was indeed. Fantastic pass into the corner. The slip lets Alan away from it. Nice connect with the brother. And that's a goal chance that flies over the bar.
Too early to talk about a second surprise at Croke Park this afternoon, but Dublin lead, and they make another change, and Conal Keeney comes into their side, the 27-year-old coming into play in the championship for the 30th time, and it's Alan Brogan who's gone off.
That is a surprise for me.
That is a big surprise.
Maybe they're going to rest him up and reintroduce him. I don't know what that was. A big surprise.
Again, Justin McMahon. Penrose. Challenged and challenged strongly, and going in to take it is Conal Keeney. Just before all of that, there was a yellow card, by the way, for Eoin O'Gara. Don't know exactly what he did. Michael Dara-McCauley fisting it back in here towards Keeney. Showing a bit of experience, but dropping it short into Pascal McConnell's hands. And Brian Dooher's back there helping out with Philip Jordan upended. Very quickly taken out to Conor Gormley. Sean Kavanagh reaching forward. Reaching into him is Cian O'Sullivan. Still, it's Tyrone who advance. Brian McGuigan. Point in the difference. Oh, not any longer. In spite of the best efforts of Stephen Cluxton, Brian McGuigan cracks it over the bar, and he levels it up once again.
It needed every piece that he had, because Stephen Cluxton makes a great grab for it, but can't stop it. Great score by Brian McGuigan.
Ger Brennan. Again, Dublin come forward. Paul Flynn. They've got renewed energy, renewed confidence. They feel they can go the course this time with the great Tyrone. It's O'Gara having a go himself. Hits off the post and comes back down to Bernard Brogan. Oh, he put it over the bar, and he might well have finished it in the back of the net.
He might well, but I think you'll see Philip Jordan does a great dive right across him, and that's what makes up his mind for you. Off the upright. Watch Jordan now coming into the picture just there. Gets the body in and makes him put it over. What a score.
What a game. 12-11. Thrilling match at Croke Park. I hope you're enjoying the afternoon's entertainment. Two first-rate games. And more to come tomorrow, of course. Sunday game starts 1:30. Two more quarter-finals. Penrose, Tyrone are far from finished. This could go either way. Nolan. Held up by Penrose, and his pocket is pinched that time by the impish Martin Penrose, and away comes Philip Jordan again, looking for more, and Fitzsimons goes in. That looked a shoulder to shoulder. I know we've changed the regulation and it's no longer side to side. Take a look at this.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent, but the rule has changed. That's the problem. Not a lot of us know about it, but these are the ones that are going to confound us as the championship comes to a conclusion.
Well, critical calls, and the referee is having words out of picture. I think it's Eamon Fennell.
Yeah, I think there was a late hit he put on Brian Dooher maybe about 30-40 seconds ago. I think that's what he's getting clipped for.
So he's got a yellow card. So by my reckoning, Dublin have 4 yellow cards and 1 against a Tyrone player, Cathal McCarran, who has now been substituted.
Yep.
Tyrone goes short. There's a fumble initially, but Dooher might turn it into something yet. Not quite, because going down to take it was Philly McMahon, who bent his back, fouled, free out. We've had lots of fouls, lots of frees, but we've had lots of excitement as well. Tyrone went into this match hot favourites. Dublin have stood up strongly, got away to a decent start. McConnell, huge one down towards Brogan. They've isolated Brogan, and Joe McMahon might have been denied a goal earlier on, and this time he's just as content to take a point, but it's 9 points now for Bernard Brogan. He got 8 when they played in the league, and people said, you know, that was just the league. But the last 3 points, Bernard Brogan scores, and Dublin lead Tyrone by 13 points to 11. Here's Gormley. Dooher. There are 16 minutes still to play. Just running out of options there, Sean Kavanagh, but supported here by the powerful Stephen O'Neill. On it goes inside, and there's a challenge which the referee didn't like, and Philly McMahon was the one who got caught.
This is what we were talking about coming up to half-time. The lads are talking out in the studio as well. The disciplined tackling when they bring the ball into the tackle. You have to keep your hands in, get them in quick, pull them out, and anything from the neck up is looking for trouble, and there's the yellow.
So the 2 cornerbacks, Fitzsimons and McMahon, they'll be disputing the Fitzsimons one. 2 yellow cards in this match. Free into Tyrone. Perfect opportunity for Martin Penrose. Look at the frees conceded, 28 to 15. That is alarming. That's a story in itself, as you're saying. Penrose has got 4 points so far, 3 from 4 from frees, and he's now got himself a 5th. First of the second half for the Hiaran player, who's 26 years of age, and he's made it Dublin 13, Tyrone 12.
Half the Tyrone score, I make it, has come from frees, Ger, and that tells the tale you're referring to.
Well, look at the clock, 56 minutes or near it gone, so 14 remaining. Fitzsimons, place in the All-Ireland semi-finals at stake. McConnell going very long towards O'Gara, double marked. McMenamin is there. There's a Tyrone player down on the ground, feeling his leg, as Brian Dooher brings it forward into Penrose. He's running his legs off, Martin Penrose, covering every part of the ground, it seems. That pass towards Carlin was almost overhit, but he did well to recover, takes it well, smart play. Dermot Carlin some 12-13 metres out, and in the end the referee says handle the ball on the ground, didn't play it, and it's a case of use it or lose it. Then Tyrone didn't retreat quickly enough when the free was awarded. A line on the ball there. There's a Tyrone player still down on the ground, I can tell you, away over on the left-hand side of the field. And it looks to be Justin McMahon, doesn't it?
And that injury was picked up in the clash with Owen O'Gara earlier on, that a lot of the Dublin fans thought was a trip. It was let go by the referee. That's where he picked up that injury.
Well, Pat Gilroy must be wondering if his team can produce a huge surprise. After the match last week against Louth, he was talking about the honesty of his team's performance and then having to step up to a new level. Well, they're up towards that level. This is what happened here a little while ago, and that's where the outstretched legs of Justin McMahon caught O'Gara. I'm not sure it was absolutely intentional. I don't think so. Meanwhile, Michael Dara-McCauley puts it in here as far as Conal Keeney, and Keeney lets fly and puts it wide.
He had to get that one. He just had to get that one to keep the pressure on it. You'd expect Keeney to get it too. It was on his left foot. How many of those have we seen over the years? There's pressure, Ger.
He's come on in place of Alan Brogan. Big decision to remove Alan Brogan. Dooher. A hit for Sean Kavanagh. He's got space now here, looking to try and tie up the match. Big kick. Umpires look at it, and it's again wide. And he still hasn't scored in this match.
He must have been sure he was going to get that one. Great chance for him.
They're still behind Tyrone, and Dublin have it again, and it's Eamon Fennell. Oh, taken back here by Ryan McMenamin, or by Penrose rather. McGuigan, nicely up for Mulligan. Good play by Mulligan, beyond O'Neill. Oh, he was in between two minds there. He had a score for the taking to level the match. I think he tried to overcomplicate it and play in Stephen O'Neill.
Yeah, that's what exactly. He sends a great dummy, cuts inside. We all thought he's going to go for the goal, but he did overcomplicate it exactly.
Here's Brian McGuigan again, onto his left. It's travelling high. The umpires are behind the goal, shake their heads, wave their hands, and it's another one wide. And the number of wides now for Tyrone, 13.
Dangerous level of wides, a lot of squander remaining now by both sides.
If they win it, Tyrone, Kevin, they're going to do it the hard way.
Looks like it. I mean, this is game on now. This is going to be a tight one right to the finish. It looks like anything can happen.
Stephen Cloxton, scorer of one of Dublin's points from a 45, the only one we've had. That kick has been picked up here once again by Joe McMahon. Back there covering to Sean Kavanagh, who'll have to just ignore the fact that he's missed opportunities and keep on playing right to the end. Back once again from McMahon to Kavanagh, and he's kicked it left, but it's in play still. Goalkeeper comes, catches it superbly. That is a superb catch by Stephen Cloxton. He just latched onto that with both hands, took it confidently, and it comes out to Ross McConnell, and Dublin maintain their 1 point lead.
I don't know what Ross was thinking there. He had to come back, turn back into the play. Terrible clearance. And
that's some catch. Brilliant defending by the goalkeeper. And Mickey Hart looks on here, a little concerned, I've no doubt, but there's still 10 minutes to go. 13-12.
Well, there was a big hit put in on, I think it was Justin McMahon, as he ploughed through the middle of the Dublin defence. And the crowd arguing again, surely that's another side to side and therefore a free in. And he didn't give it that time though, he did earlier.
There's going to be another change, and coming in will be Enda McGinley. Well, good to see him back. He opted out during the league and he's come in place of number 9, Kevin Hughes. Now, can he turn this match around? One of those players who's been part and parcel of the Mickey Hart set up for a long, long time. Dublin have it once again. Here's Brian Cullen on as far as Eamon Fennell, threading it forward here for Owen O'Gara. McMenamin goes back, tries to prevent his passage here, but there's still a shot and it's gone wide.
He's got to pass those inside. I think Brian Cullen came off his shoulder. Michael Dara-McCauley wasn't too far away either, and he takes a shot from a difficult angle when it's a simple hand pass inside.
Oh, a lot of shooting errors by both teams in the last 10 minutes of this match. Tense for the managers, tense for the fans. The players at least can get out there and resolve it and see which one of them is going to get into this year's semi-finals. Penrose fouled 65 metres out from Dublin's goal. Philip Jordan comes across to take it. Just bouncing it here and waiting is Joe McMahon. Martin Penrose again. Kavanagh reaching for it, and he does well to beat Philly McMahon to it. Kavanagh on his left to try and tie up the match, and it's gone left. And he's having one of those afternoons.
He did everything so right, Ger. Everything so right. Wins the ball that maybe he shouldn't win. cuts inside and really should swing it over. That's a few handy ones that Sean has missed today.
Cluxton's kick out. Looking for Michael Dara-McCauley, but won once again in the middle of the park by Tyrone. McGinley feeding Penrose here. Almost changing hands. Kicking it in ambitiously, but there's nothing O'Neill can do. And Tyrone are just beginning to get a little bit edgy and somewhat desperate in their approach, but they're only a point behind. And there's going to be one more change, and it'll be Peter Hart who will come on, the number 20. He's a nephew of Mickey. He's coming on in place of Martin Penrose.
They're playing their hand now as quickly as they can, but Dublin need to be brave enough now to go on and win it. That's the key. Have they got that bravery? Have they got that confidence?
Because Tyrone will keep at them. Sean Kavanagh may have missed a bucket of chances, but he will still try and press home Tyrone's advantage, and it comes back to McGuigan. Mulligan to level the game. It's over the bar, and the teams have drawn level for the 6th time thanks to Owen Mulligan's 5th point.
The skill in that movement, the quick hands, flashing it across. Look at the dummy, and then onto the right foot, bang.
6 minutes to go. Who's it to be as Brian Collins dragged down? Free kick. Rory O'Carroll picking out Jar Brennan. Back goes Stephen O'Neill to try and block his progress, but it's still Brennan who boots it away in there. Broken down by Brogan as far as Paul Flynn, and Flynn outside of the boot. It comes down to O'Gara. He's kicked another one. Owen O'Gara, 2 goals last week against Louth, and now 1 in the 65th minute. And Dublin lead by 113 to 13 points, and their fans are already dreaming about a place in the semi-finals.
Well, it's Paul Flynn's shot that flies across, hits the upright, bang, what a finish! And now it's game on.
It certainly is that.
Great finish, Ger, really comfortable, he knows what he's doing, he picks his spot, and he sticks it.
Well, he's 23 years of age and he's from Temple Ogue, Sing Street. Dermot Curlin, meanwhile, as a result of all of that, whatever happened, got himself a yellow card. Another free in, which is going to be taken by Conal Keeney, kicking his first point of the match and extending Dublin's lead. Is this the afternoon when 2 of the so-called top 3 in the country go out of the championship in one fell swoop? Kerry have already bid adieu to the 2010 championship, and Tyrone are now perilously close to the abyss. McGinley, challenge late. Ball won back again. This time it's Fennell to Flynn, whose shot came off the crossbar and upright and resulted in the goal by O'Gara just moments ago. Bernard Brogan has got 9 points. That's too long, but it might just work out yet, but didn't quite. Picked up again by Dermot Carlin. Tyrone, the Ulster champions.
Well, Ger, I'm reminded of the day Fermanagh took out Armagh, and in the following match on a Saturday evening, Mayo took out Dublin. Big shocks everywhere.
Tyrone with just 1 defeat in their last 14 championship matches. That was the semi-final last year. And here we've got a yellow card for Paul Flynn, and we've got Peter Hart advancing with difficulty. It's carried in by Brian McGuigan. Second time of asking, gets his leg to it, and again Cluxton does well. What a good fist away to Michael Fitzsimons. That's brilliant goalkeeping. Out to Michael Dara-McCauley. Dublin rampant. Inside towards Bernard Brogan. O'Gara again. He'll be content with a point this time, but he gets absolutely nothing for his troubles. That's amazing.
Yeah, Alan Brogan's back on. We kind of had a feeling he might.
So that will be their 5th substitution. And it's going to be Cullen who comes off as we watch this again here. If Cluxton with a fantastic punch away out of danger. 114 to 13 points. 2.5 minutes of the 70 still to play. I'm sure there will be the usual 2 minutes of added time played. Here's O'Neill. It's still possible for Tyrone, but it's advantage Dublin. McGuigan can't take it. Flynn can. Here's O'Carroll. Superb as always. Down towards O'Gara, trying to nurse it to himself. McMahon was there as well. That's Joe McMahon.
Tyrone ball.
Well, in the past, Tyrone have come here and lost quarter-finals. You might remember in 2004 they lost to Mayo. They lost to Meath as well. They also lost their very first one in 2001. They don't want to lose another. Dermot Carlin. Stephen O'Neill trying to take over. Yet to score in this match. He's had a wretched year with injuries. Here's Mulligan. Tyrone need a goal. That's an imperative. And Stephen O'Neill cracks it, but into the crowd and wide. And it's a 16th unbelievable wide by Tyrone. They have blown their chances, it would seem.
That seems to be the number, all right, that's standing out, and that's what's making their efforts to get back into it. Unsuccessful.
Peter Hart jumping for this one, but breaking it to Ross McConnell. The Dubs now will try and finish out the job that they started so impressively. Bernard Brogan inside towards Michael Darragh Macaulay. Angle tight, tries to make a better one. He can finish it here, and he puts it over the bar. Michael Darragh Macaulay, who got a goal against Tipperary, gets a point here in what is now the 70th minute of this All-Ireland GAA quarter-final, and the Dubs lead the Ulster champions, and they're ahead by 5 points. What a day for Dublin. This is the team that was awful against Wexford. Their first half performance was simply horrible. Then they somehow recovered in extra time and won the game eventually. They were blitzed for 5 goals against Meath, and people said this is one of the worst we've seen for years. But in the qualifiers, they've built incrementally, under pressure late now here. Ger Brennan, part of a team that has beaten Tipperary, beaten Armagh in the qualifiers, beat Louth in the qualifiers, and now in the quarter-finals, as we head inside injury time, they're ahead against the Ulster champions by 5 points. Is there a kick yet in Tyrone? Joe McMahon planting it in there. Claxton comes again, and this time he decides very wisely to let it out, let it away, and we're into 2 minutes of added time.
He's a great keeper, he really is. We've seen some great moves by him there. He knows exactly what he's doing there.
Well, it's his 48th championship match today, Stephen Claxton. He's kicked 5 points this year from 45s, and now at the other end, Alan Brogan back in after his little siesta is away once again before being hauled back by Philip Jordan, and as they say, it's almost as good as a score.
It's all over now, all right.
It delays the inevitable for Philip Jordan, one of the heroes of 2003 and 2005, and they came again in 2008. This is a team with a lot of mileage on the clock, and the youngsters from Dublin, augmented by people like Conal Keeney, have come good as Keeney kicks this one and puts it to the left. But we've already played 1 minute of the added time, and the added time must be agony now for Tyrone and their followers. What an afternoon. Kerry out of the championship, Tyrone almost out of the championship. What's going to happen tomorrow? Today anyway can look after itself. And again, Keeney trying to pin Justin McMahon back there. It's merely a matter of delaying the inevitable, not even a stay of execution at this stage, as Dublin are under pressure. Colm Kavanagh looking for a late finish, but they need scores, and I don't think it's going to happen for them. Not 2 quick goals. In it goes, and again Claxton's there to deny them, and the referee allows the free kick to be taken quickly. Some people thought it was the final whistle. It's not quite yet. Ross McConnell's off here. This is the great improbable, but it's come good in the nick of time for Dublin, and what a victory this is going to be for the youngsters like Owen O'Gara. He can forget about that one. It won't make the highlights of the year, but his goals might. 2 against Louth, 1 against Tyrone, and they wait now for the final whistle, and Dublin eliminate Tyrone from the championship and advance to the semi-finals. Owen O'Gara's goal after 65 minutes delighted the crowd. It was an all-round brilliant team performance by Dublin, And what can you say about Pat Gilroy and his backroom team? John Costello, the Secretary and Chief Executive there, congratulating him, and Tyrone absolutely crestfallen. They came here having won Ulster, but Dublin, who were jittery all through the summer up to now, with Stephen Cluxton quite superb in goal, not alone scoring but preventing many efforts from the opposition. Michael Dara-McCauley is only 23 years of age, first season at this level, one of the youngsters. We're still coming to know some of these players. They're in the semi-finals. Who knows how far they may go this year. This is turning out to be one of those championships when a lot of the favourites might well be on their way. Kerry have gone, Tyrone have gone. There's a few more big names left. We'll be seeing them tomorrow. Conor Gormley has had so many great days in the past. Today, a big disappointment. They've lost in the quarter-finals, Kevin.
Yeah, victory for teamwork, and one of the bravest men, I have to say, Pat Gilroy, with the rebuild that he started. Absolutely terrific display.
It certainly was, and the final score here at Croke Park in the second quarter-final is Dublin 115, Tyrone 13 points.